Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is notorious for its appalling living conditions and rampant violence. How bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous and lockdowns in recent years. It's so out of control inside that 4 federal judges are reportedly refusing to send any more prisoners here.
Y'all, Diddy's time behind bars is turning into a nightmare. And a prison expert just spilled the tea on why he's straight up terrified in jail, and this is wild, cause it gets crazier. From powerful ops to shocking prison vibes, the reasons behind Diddy's fear will leave you speechless. So let's dive into the tea. So Diddy has reportedly lost a lot of weight while in jail, and he's now totally different from how he looked before he was arrested back in September.
They hand out like psych meds, like they're M&Ms to these inmates to try to get them to cope with what's going on.
Now, according to Larry Levine, a former inmate, he said inmates at MDC are given psych meds to deal with the psychological trauma of being in jail. Yup, it's that bad. Even Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, who has been behind bars before in MDC, said the condition of the detention center is capable of giving Diddy a shock, adding that the center typically gives a chair, a desk, a bed with a 1.5-inch mattress with no pillow, and that's not to even mention the rats and cockroaches that have become Diddy's roommates in his cell. But y'all, it gets worse as Diddy is also afraid for his life because he thinks his food may be poisoned by his fellow inmates, and the question is, who's the boogeyman trying to get him? Now, while no one knows the exact person after Diddy's life, his fear is totally legit, and even Suge Knight, the CEO of Death Row Records, advised Diddy to watch out for his dear life. And in his words, he said, "I'll tell you what, Puffy, your life is in danger because you know the secrets of who's involved in that little secret room you guys are participating in. You know they gonna get you if they can." Now, could it be that some A-list celebrities who took part in Diddy's freak-offs are now trying to unalive him to save their own heads? Well, Diddy was placed on a SI side watch some time ago and was later taken off the watch as it was allegedly all a ploy for him to receive a better treatment, and it didn't go as he expected because a former inmate at MDC Brooklyn said Diddy's celebrity status won't help him get special treatment. Now, just like every other inmate, Diddy is allowed a shower 3 times a week, and his communication via phone calls are limited. That means Diddy has 300 minutes of phone time per month, and that excludes calls with his lawyers. And here's the scoop. If Diddy is on the phone for 30 minutes every day, it means after 10 days, he won't have any more phone calls until the next month. And while people think there are TVs and radios in the cells, there's nothing like that, not even a radio, as all you get is a Bible and 1 book per week. But at least with that, y'all can be sure Diddy is probably praying harder than a preacher right now. But what do y'all think about Diddy's experience behind bars? Do y'all think he should be moved out of the MDC because of his life being in danger? Or are y'all calling it cap? Don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments section and watch this space for more fresh updates on your favorite celebrities.
Journalists just gave an inside gist into how Diddy runs things on the block while in jail. At Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, Diddy's presence has created an unusual dynamic among inmates. Inside the facility that is generally known more for its harsh conditions than comfort, Diddy has somehow found himself the center of attention. According to insiders, some inmates have become what they call jail groupies, competing to perform simple tasks for him, like making his bed. This behavior is far from the usual grim prison narratives and shows Diddy's star power still holds even in jail. Journalist Tour reported that some inmates have started getting jealous when vying for opportunities to do special things for the mogul. While his celebrity status shields him from some of the harsh realities of jail life, it kinda also places him under an intense spotlight, both from inmates and authorities. He resides in a dorm-like setting with around 20 other men, most of whom are high-profile inmates. This area is reportedly safer and more controlled than other parts of the prison. Yet even here, life is far from easy. Former inmates described the Metropolitan Detention Center as a living nightmare, characterized by poor ventilation, inedible food, and unsanitary conditions. Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, expressed concerns early on about his client's safety, noting that the facility's reputation as one of the worst in the country adds to the challenges of his pretrial detention. The jail's food, described as slop, consists of items like thin meat patties dubbed murder burgers and bland oatmeal. Access to showers is limited, and inmates must adhere to a strict daily schedule. Initially placed on suicide watch, Diddy faced the added strain of constant surveillance under bright fluorescent lights and round-the-clock monitoring. During this period, he was subjected to strict strip searches every time he left his cell and given limited personal hygiene items. Eventually, he was moved to protective custody, sharing a housing unit with other high-profile inmates, including convicted fraudster Sam Bankman-Fried. While this arrangement provided some safety, the cell's size and amenities were far from comfortable. Each single-man cell offered barely enough room to move around. A small recreation deck of approximately 500 square feet was one of the few allowances for fresh air and limited exercise. When Diddy appeared in court recently, his physical transformation shocked many. Observers noted he looked significantly thinner and grayer than before his detention. The drastic weight loss and visible aging fueled speculation about the toll his incarceration is taking on his health. Despite these challenges, Diddy still managed to address the courtroom with a happy holidays greeting. Adding to the tension surrounding his case are allegations from Diddy's legal team that prosecutors and federal authorities have engaged in misconduct. His lawyers claimed that during a sweep of his cell, federal investigators seized and photographed handwritten notes meant for his legal defense. These notes, which his team insists are protected under attorney-client privilege, were allegedly shared with prosecutors. The defense called this a blatant violation of his rights, accusing the government of using his detention to spy on him and undermine his case. Prosecutors defended the sweep, citing general security concerns at the facility. But Judge Arun Subramanian ordered the government to destroy the notes, acknowledging the sensitivity of the situation. Despite this ruling, the judge denied Diddy's repeated requests for bail, citing concerns about witness tampering and the potential risks he poses if released. The government's allegations against Diddy include claims that he attempted to manipulate witnesses and influence public opinion, even from behind bars. Prosecutors accused him of orchestrating efforts to contact potential witnesses through intermediaries and using his children's social media posts to sway potential jurors. These accusations, combined with the severity of the charges against him, have led to heightened scrutiny of his actions within the detention center. Meanwhile, his legal team continues to argue that the conditions of his confinement are unconstitutional, pointing to overcrowding, violence, and inadequate facilities at the MDC. One particularly alarming incident involved the death of an inmate following a violent altercation. Despite these setbacks, Diddy's team remained steadfast in their defense, alleging that the government has launched a campaign to vilify him and hinder his ability to prepare for trial.